And now, a Christmas message from MJ Knight.
Hey there folks, it's MJ Knight, coming before you today to wish you a very Merry Christmas, and hopefully that 2013 has been indeed a good year to you. Certainly been a good year for me. It's been a nice evolution in regards to special features. I feel like every year I'm pushing. When I say push the envelope, I don't mean in the sense of what's in good or bad taste, as in I'm pushing the levels of quality, I'm evolving it, improving it, and taking it up to that next level, which you all saw with the Man of Steel review for Part 4 of the Countdown to Christmas. And same could be said with December to Remember, which will become an annual staple with MJ Knight TV. Raw Down Rebound got through 3 seasons this year. Season 5 on the road to WrestleMania 29. Good lord. I've seen some bad WrestleManias down the years, but that one took the cake. Season 6 proved to be intriguing at best. I'm glad Daniel Bryan has cemented himself as a main event player within the company. I know people have mocked him. That's their choice. They've said, oh, he's not big enough, he's not tough enough. He's proved this year, size doesn't mean anything. I mean, you only need to look back at Shawn Michaels in the mid-90s. Not the tallest guy, not the biggest guy, not the strongest guy. Yeah, WrestleMania 12 in 1996 in a 60-minute Iron Man match with Bret the Hitman Hart, one of the best at the time in the industry. He proved everybody wrong. And Daniel Bryan did exactly the same thing until Triple H screwed him. Yeah, I've not been terribly impressed with Monday Night Raw, especially during the fall season this year, whenever RDR does its fall season, autumn season, call it what you will, whichever is your preference. I prefer to call it the fall season, because it's just what I prefer. Summer season was kind of meh. I felt like season 7, we kind of ended that on a high note, even though the amount of jobber alerts that were going on SmackDown last week was just, oh good lord. But I call it like I see it. How do I feel about this year personally? 2013's been a reasonably satisfactory year. I mean, 2013, it's just been a case of keeping my head screwed on, getting on with the work at hand, and it's difficult to do this when, you know, you're working full time and you don't have much time for yourself between work and being a producer, content provider, entertainer, call it what you will, all of the above. But I do always try to make time to do the very best that I can for you guys, because there are 2 reasons. There's actually a few reasons why I still continue to do what I do, and you only need to go back to the fall of 2007, when I just started trying to find my way on YT, just trying to figure out what persona was going to work for me and what style of reviewing was working, because I think this is the same for any person that comes on YouTube, whether you're someone in your late teens, mid-20s, or if you're starting out in your early 30s. I find when you come on there, you pretty much come on to YT with a blank slate, because I like to think of the personality that you have, you mold it and you shape it as you go along, because you learn certain little mannerisms and savviness over time that of what works for you, what could work better, what needs to be improved on what you just need to push to one side because it just doesn't work. I find most of the time it's, in some regards, the best persona that you can use for YouTube, Blip, or even Dailymotion. Whatever works best for you, you do that. I find whichever video sharing site you go onto, the best persona that you can use is yourself, but turn the volume up. Now, if some people don't want to take it to a level where it's over the top, charismatic, flamboyant, and just oozing charisma, if you prefer to just play it straight, then hey, more power to you. But I've always been in the belief that when you come on to places like YT or Blip, you've got to give the viewer an incentive. You've got to give them a reason to stick with you. And I forget which YT user said this, but it was a Back to the Future review I was doing. This was before I started becoming a lot more constructive with my reviews. And he said something to the degree of, "Man, you are putting me to sleep. You sound like a British robot." And whoever, and I mean this, whoever said that, thank you. You gave me the inspiration to not only make the video reviews interesting, shut up Wade, but exciting, enjoyable, entertaining, because that's the whole point of my being on YouTube. I want to entertain you guys. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy not necessarily being an attention seeker per se, but I enjoy the aspect of putting something together from scratch and then delivering it to you to say, this is the product, this is what I like, this is what I enjoyed, and I hope you all enjoy it. And the other reasons I continue to do what I do, first of all, the inspiration came from my brother, the Random DCE, who I'm sad to say doesn't come onto YouTube as often as he used to, but that's his thing. He's got his reasons for doing it, and I respect that. And of course, my other inspiration was the Nostalgia Critic. There are people that narc on him and don't particularly care for his product these days, and that's fine. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, and you cannot program into your head, I must like this and I must not like that. You see something you like, you just like it because it feels natural. If you dislike something, you don't choose to dislike it, but you choose to say that you dislike it. And Nostalgia Critic, I just found, particularly the way Doug would literally pour life into this character. He was energetic, he was passionate about what he was reviewing. He'd always try to find new ways to outdo himself, and I feel like I'm always doing that, whether it's with special features, whether it's with RDR, or when it's with the memory card, whenever I do get time to doing that. And like I say, I'm always trying to find new ways to entertain you. Now, as most people know, Season 8 of Raw Down Rebound will be our last next year. I think it's nothing to do with my broadcast colleagues, Oni Rakaku and Matt and the L-Man. This is far from it. I'm going to say this from the heart. These are some of the best personalities and YouTubers I have ever had the privilege of working. Oni is very passionate about what he says, and L-Man is very quick-witted. He reads the situation very quickly, and sometimes he will say something that just floors everybody. Like, for example, say, "Listen to me, Triple H. Look at this lovely picture of the evolution of man. You stand right behind the ape," and he'll say things like that, and it floors everyone. And particularly in regards to these two, I'm surprised Oni is not noticed a lot more, because And I'm going to be honest, and I've got no problem saying this, his knowledge and understanding of the wrestling business surpasses my own. I'd say he's on equal playing field with Steve the Vince Wilton. And only just to make this clear, that is, not to... it's not really necessarily so much of a comparison. It's more of a compliment to the pair of you because of the fact you're so knowledgeable and you're so intelligent with what you know that works with wrestling, what doesn't work, what has been in there before that should not be there, and what could be in there and what could work better. And with L-Man, like I say, for a guy who does this part-time, just like I do, very intelligent, and I'm going to be honest, I think it's only a matter of time before he's discovered and goes on to bigger and better things. And considering he studies film, he has film studies at university, I think he's going to go on to greater and better things. With me, I think it's a case of I think in 2014, I think it's just another case of evolution. Just keep raising the bar, putting more time and quality into the product that I deliver, because that's like with anything, with progression, advancement, and like I say, with evolution, you learn to adapt, you learn to roll with the times, you learn to take away things that are either outdated or have long outserved their purpose. And with RDR, I'm finally getting to this point, I think it's a case of it's not RDR the show that I've got issues with. It's the current product of Monday Night Raw in particular, because most people will know I wrote Oni Rakaku's notes for about 2 seasons straight because I made the point of saying to look, we want to try and keep to a 30-minute time slot. If it was like 32 minutes, I wasn't going to begrudge that because that's just 2 minutes. To me, that's not worth throwing a fit over. But I just stopped watching Raw because the whole Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, The Authority storyline was just making me lose interest in Raw. Now, only according to what Oni and company have been saying, Raw has been slowly getting better. Now, I can only take their word for that because I try to, these days, not to comment on what I have not witnessed, heard, or seen. Even though those are all the same things, I'm aware of that. I watch SmackDown because 80 to 90 minutes, this with the commercials taken out, that's enough. That's more than plenty. 3 hours of Raw, ugh, too much. And, of course, after WrestleMania 30, RDR's done. We're all going to go split and do our own thing. I'm going to take time off from reviewing wrestling because it takes so much out of my schedule each week. And when I do come back, it'll be SmackDown only with SmackBack. It will happen in 2014. I don't know when, I don't know how, but it will. And I suppose the other thing is just keep an eye out in 2014 because you never know when I may surprise you. You never know when I may bowl you over and give you something where you thought, that was amazing. On a personal level, a few resolutions I'm looking to try and do for next year. One of them is to try and be a little more neutral. I saw a video off of Jason David Frank's Facebook page where he talked about his his Christian beliefs. I'm not going to go too much into this because I know there are some that get a little irked by religion, so I'm just going to put it to the side. But he kind of inspired me to be a little bit more tolerant of people, be a little bit more neutral. And the nice thing about being neutral is you don't end up adding to a situation that may already be awkward or volatile. You just say, it'd be like on the lines of if Oni and Lewis were arguing over something, and all I would say is, I don't have an opinion about this, guys. I just wanna leave this be because I don't want to get involved. And I suppose it's just to be a little bit more patient, just to be like, hey, if that's what you think, fine, but I don't personally agree with it, but we'll just have to agree to disagree. So, I hope everyone has a good 2014, and I hope you have a great Christmas, and a couple of shout-outs to Nick Nugent, X24 Rider, Gurak Weavile, Oni Rakaku, Master Lewis, and the Mighty Tarrison. Merry Christmas to you all from MJ Knight TV. Merry Christmas.